The Cheating Death Podcast is a comedy/satire, historical, declassified document diving, truth-providing podcast. If you have any comments or questions or considerations, you may email them to us at thecheatingdeathpodcast@gmail.com. On today's episode of the Cheating Death Podcast, we provide you with an all-new Annihilation update. What von Neumann probes may very well be doing in our universe, the conspiracy behind who and or what may control them, a beautifully brand new joke of the program, a top 5, and all that and more. So you know what to do, dear listener. Grab your coffee, put your feet up, and grab your favorite blankie, and let us tell you how you can cheat death. This is your news anchor, the Cleric of Chaos, and this is your Annihilation Announcement. We look at the concept of von Neumann probes, intergalactic surveillance, and we understand the notion that we are not alone. For it is in this time that we look within our own lives and see just exactly what is within our radius and our diameter of perception and of viewing. We are constantly bombarded with advertisements every day, constantly recorded by the devices that we depend on, and yet we still have not become aware as a species that we are not alone. We still throw out these ridiculous theories that pontificate that we are the only ones and will ever be the only ones. Besides the most absurd notion that may be, understand that there is still more information to come, and you must stay strong to consume it. This has been your news anchor, the Cleric of Chaos, and this is your Annihilation Announcement. Willkommen, meine Freunde. Guten Morgen, guten Tag und eine gute Nacht ist deine Reisende und deine Ausländer und deine Allesfresser. Deine Cleric of Chaos. John von Neumann, an outstanding contributor to the world of science as we view it now, and even as to how it was viewed and perceived during the times in which he had mentioned the possibility of the existence of intergalactic surveillance devices. Dear listeners, ladies and gentlemen, individuals of all ages, the von Neumann probe concept/conspiracy is a conspiracy theory that posits that our universe, our galaxy, our solar system itself is infiltrated, infested, filled up completely with these listening devices, these surveilling devices that are capable of self-replication, that are capable of keeping themselves powered through any litany of space storms or crazy, outlandish events that may transpire. No, the concept of a von Neumann probe was developed and idealized back in the early days of yore, when one would consider what space consisted of, whether it be predominantly dark matter with a dashing and a spritzing of our matter in between, or whether it be the polar opposites. In this time, it was posited by John von Neumann and a group of scientists that it is very likely that the answer to the Fermi paradox being that we are not alone, and that our loneliness only comes from the assumption that we are not being witnessed, monitored, or tracked in any way, shape, or form, and that we may or may not dwell within a dark forest conundrum. We have to understand, dear listener, that the dark forest in and of itself is an absolutely outstanding layer to the Fermi paradox and may provide us with more questions than answers, but the von Neumann probe may be the conduit to how we may get that answer. For it is rather explicitly obvious in our turmoil, our tumultuous time, that we may not be alone, but despite the vast amount of evidence that states that we are not alone, there are still entities out there that state that we are. These von Neumann probes challenge the very notion and the idea that we as a species upon this plane are alone. The von Neumann probe provides the human being with a level of security, insight, understanding, and reality that they, indeed, are not alone. Given the nature and circumstances of our time and how every single area of the planet seems to be surveyed in some way, shape, or form, it is only natural for the galaxy and for space to want to survey us too. As such, the von Neumann probe to many remains a mystery. To those who dwell within both the chaos realm and the nether realm, the answer is simple. The probe is you, and you are the watcher. Thank you for tuning in today. Take care of yourself and each other. At the top of today's episode, we promised you another scintillating top 5 list. So, on the list of today's top 5 is our top 5 skater brands for backpacks. Yes, a very unique, niche level top 5, but roll with us. Think you'll understand where we're getting at. Coming in at number 5, we have E-America. Coming in at number 4, we have Flip. Coming in at number 3, we have Circa. Coming in at number 2, we have Birdhouse. And coming in at number 1, we have Element. One of the reasons why we are listing all these particular backpacks at this point in time is because if you are in North America, ladies and gentlemen, West 49 is running a beautiful, long-winded Boxing Week sale that is going to encompass all the way up until your beautiful day of our Lord, the Monday, the 5th of January, 2026. So, without further ado, head on down to your local West 49, your local Sketches, or your local Zoomies for your latest discounts. What is your top 5 favorite skater brands? Email us at thecheatingdeathpodcast@gmail.com. Today's joke has been brought to you by the Cleric of Chaos. In 1942, there were 2 Soviet servicemen hanging out in the trenches, fighting on the line, doing whatever they could to further the war effort, when one proposed that they should participate in naming each other's children. A gentleman named Igor pulled out a photo of his recently birthed child, a daughter named Herzgovina, from his wallet. His compatriot, Senor Vladimir, pulled out a picture of his child, and he tells Igor, I do not know what to name this child. If we get home, it is must be interesting name, something with passion, something with fury, something with meaning. And it is at that point that Igor decided to state emphatically to Vladimir, we do not know if we are going to be reaching our home once this war concludes. What we must do is we must decide on a name now. The 2 gentlemen spent what felt like hours and days deciding on a name. Then they had decided that if it is a male, the name shall be Sergei. If it is a female, the name shall be Mirakova. And as with that, Igor said, Soviet, we have decided. Whether we look at von Neumann probes as being an interesting fictional aspect of a scientific writing, or we take the objective and realistic approach to the notion of the von Neumann probe in the sense of it being an intergalactic surveillance device, it may be a bit too outlandish, in the words of one Ziggy Dice, for people to understand or to even consider, and that is absolutely fine, given the way that this world is currently suffering both economically, with infrastructure changes and challenges, and souls being displaced at an alarmingly high rate. it is completely acceptable for you to take your time, to do your best, and fight with everything you can. Thank you for tuning in today. Take care of yourself and each other. The Genie Death Podcast has been brought to you by Nach dem Leben, CRDVC, Chaos Realm Records, and CR Deutschland, and we are available on all podcasting platforms. If you would like to consider supporting the program, you may do so at the links in the episode's description below. If you or anyone you know is experiencing psychiatric duress or domestic violence, there are also links in the episode's description. Please visit our friends, our companions, comrades, personnel, producers, and outstanding souls at the links in the episode's description. And remember, if you are looking at adopting a playful puppy or a cute kitten, please visit your local animal adoption rescue center. And regardless of how you see yourself in the mirror, understand that there is an energy and a ray of light that will keep fighting long beyond your vessel's expiration. So do what you can to harness it now. Stay strong and be beautiful. Remember, we're pulling for you. We're all in this together.